Headed to the second game of the night, CEX up against the Working Men, and the knife is underway. I'm not actually going to commentate the knife. I was about to go into commentary mode there, but I mean, which side do you reckon these guys are going to pick if they do win out the knife round here?
So most likely they are going to go for that CT half start. You want to try and get it if you can. Interestingly enough, I'm not too sure if Glory Kid is most likely a stand-in there. I don't believe that is Spandex. So it seems like we do actually have a stand-in over on the CEX side, which could be interesting.
And that really could be kind of a big deal. We've just been talking about how CEX is this kind of built-up team. They should be able to work together well and things. If they have that substitute coming into play, do you think that could be a big factor in this match?
Obviously, I mean, it forces you to sort of have to change your style of play a little bit to try and accommodate for a factor of like that. If you need to try and throw someone into the mix very early on before quite an important matchup in an event like this. So there is always that factor behind it. It just depends. I mean, you never know. It could just be Spandex with a new name. That has happened. So
it definitely could be. And I mean, I'm hoping that production are listening to me, and maybe League Ops will be able to let me know whether that is Spandex or whether it's a different player. But we are just going to be watching these guys take some heads while apparently it is Spandex.
Nice.
So.
Okay, so we will see actually the full lineup. So ignore all of that. That's good as well though, because it means the structure will be there. And obviously Spandex has been sort of quite a crucial role, because you do have that dynamic, as I was saying, behind there with Medic and Spandex. They've been together for so long, played in so many teams, like even back in Source as well. So they do have a lot of synergy between those two. So it helps to keep that there, and that would have derailed the whole sort of team if you did throw someone else into the mix straight away before quite an important matchup that we're going to be jumping into very shortly.
Yeah, so just waiting for all of the players to ready up, and there we go. They have readied up and should be able to get this game underway finally. So, first round of the game. It's going to be Working Men on this CT side, with CEX going to be our terrorists for the first half of the map. I'm curious to see what the buys are coming out. Looks like a bit of armor coming out here for CEX. And a little bit of utility going to be in the hands of Medic. 2 flashes and a smoke. And then the Desert Eagle for Charlie.
There will actually be some very early aggressive B play coming up by the side of CEX as they barrage their way through. 4 players making the pincer. We do see one man lurking as well. They begin to get their entry onto the site, but what will they find? Charlie lands the headshot with the Deagle. That's going to shut down Jacob, but unfortunately Spandex hits the ground and Rescue's going to follow as well. This isn't looking too amazing for the T's. They have been able to get that bomb planted, which will help them quite a lot into the following rounds, but how's it going to go down? Cinder on the nice angle here. It's so very awkward to actually catch a player out who's sitting here, and he's got the opening frag. Luckily he gets away with 1 HP as well. There's a lot of potential to even do more damage. Goes back, lands the shot onto Robin. Now it's just down to a 2 versus 2. CeX sneaks his way onto the site. Oh, lands the headshot on towards Charlie. Fry's going to tap that bomb, trying to force out the peak from Cinder, but will he go for it? Edge it out. Somehow he lands the shot onto CeX. That's insane. The push coming in, but he'll take him down and has enough time to get the defuse as well, I believe. But that was insane, the shot from Cinder there.
What on earth did we just witness? What a way to start this game as well. If that isn't... bomb as well, down to like the last 0.1 second or something like that. I mean, I really hope that the game just goes on to live up to that first round, because that was down to the wire with some ridiculous shots coming out. And I really like the play as well against Robin. I didn't quite see who it was, but closing the door to deny the shots coming back through was beautiful stuff coming out. And now we're going to see the Working Men obviously managed to take that first round, so they're going to be very happy with some FAMASs and an M4 to work with, but they are going to be up against a P90 of God Heavy as they push on through. The FAMAS isn't quite going to be enough, and now the Terrorists with the man advantage.
Yeah, luckily Fry was able to transfer a fair bit of damage across the board to the side of CEX. Cinder only on 40 HP, Resu also on 20. They will just slow down for the meantime and begin to reposition as they back off. Want to reshuffle the deck here. They haven't put all their eggs in one basket towards this aggressive B play. It's a shame as well though. If Fry would have been able to get an opener on the board, that could have been a massive early start in the round. They really don't want to lose this one as well, because it wouldn't put the Working Men in a great spot. Resu should be picked off if he actually goes for this push down. If he hears the audio cue of him landing, hits the floor, we'll spot him out as well. Couldn't check the angle. Robin, obviously, with the beneficial factor into that one, we'll be able to pick him off. But it seems like the B play will be coming out fairly shortly. They want to try and just brute force their way into the site. Can Jacob defend it?
It's going to be Jacob and CeX on the site here. They're going to be looking for the shots. Glory Kid finds one though. CeX does trade it out, but that's going to be another one coming in for Spandex in the end. And now the two CTs just desperately charging across the map. Nice shot from Dudley to take one out. And now there's only two Ts remaining on this one as Robin looks for the flank. Coming in from behind, finds one onto Medic, but it's going to be Spandex with a third kill as well. Nice frag comes out. It is going to tag him ever so slightly, but just not enough right now. Needs to find the headshot right now as Spandex peeks. Can't quite find the shot onto Robin, who's going to go for the fake defuse. Spandex ain't falling for that one though. Jumps straight on up, and this is one heck of a 1v1, but Spandex is just playing time right now. He doesn't have to peek up against Robin, but Robin finds him with the Tech 9 in the end. He's going to go for the defuse. I'm not 100% sure if he's got this one. It's going to be very close, and in fact, no, the bomb's going to go, so can't quite get it in the end, and CEX, they're going to be able to take this second round.
Yeah, and that's fantastic as well. This is going to put Working Men in such a horrid situation, whereas for CEX, this is absolutely grand. Interesting play as well from Spandex into that 1v1, where he was actually going for these quite over-aggressive faces, and if he would have got picked off by a lucky dink coming out from Robin, could have completely changed the pace of the round, but didn't happen. So we're going to be jumping in. Round 3, of course, by going over. I like to see this as well, where you get Robin out on the scout, allow him to play this roaming style, where he'll just go for these early aggressive peaks. People upgrade to the CZs more times than often, where you can just shut down people that are tagged very efficiently because they'll be quite squishy. We already see that coming into play as well. Charlie down to 30 HP, just a measly few seconds into the round. Aggression coming out towards Monster. Somehow CeX lands the headshot as well. I was able to control that Deagle to find the frag on towards Resu. And this is getting better by the second now for the Working Men.
It certainly is. And CEX, despite winning that last round, despite having better money to work with, are going to be a man down now. And it looks like the rotation over towards this B site is going to be the call here. Medic leading the charge. Obviously has the bomb in his back pocket. But they've got to find their way onto this site just yet. And that's not going to be an easy task to achieve, because even with the rifles and the armor and everything they've got, a CZ is definitely capable of taking these players out, regardless of what is going to be in their hands. So it's definitely not going to be an easy push regardless of the situation, but there's 3 players over towards A for the Working Men, so maybe this is going to be the opportunity as they just charge straight onto the site. There's a nice shot coming out from CeX, and he's going to look for another one with the Galil, but actually backs away in the end. And look at this, the Working Men are all over this one as they push back on towards this site, and the terrorists are just being wiped out now. Charlie with the scout on the back of the site, but the bomb hasn't been planted just yet, and he's in a 1 versus 4. Will eventually get taken down as well. And that is going to be another round for the Working Men. So these teams just trading rounds at this point.
Yeah, and this completely puts the few on the other foot at this point. As we saw, CEX, obviously, what's just happened there is the reset coming into play. It seems like they will actually go for the straight-up deco, though. 5 Deagles in their hands. Can they utilise these hand cannons correctly with this aggressive play? We'll actually try and slice it up a little bit. It's not going to be a B play once again. Diverting out towards mid, want to try and take that toilet control and then most likely push up towards the A bomb site. They have seen that it's going to work his way round. If they play this correctly and go for the pincer all at once, they might actually be able to do a fair bit of damage. Dudley, unfortunately for him as well, is going to lose his head, railed down through the wall. Fantastic stuff for Charlie there, landing that shot. Robin's in the close angle, use the smoke to buy him a little bit more time, wants to try and split him up. They can't go with that pack mentality. They'll have to offer themselves up one by one if they want to push him, and they're going to realise that isn't the smart play and back off.
Certainly are, and it looks like the bomb is actually going towards B, despite the rest of the players looking like they're around A site, but actually they're just hanging around in connector right now. The spray through the wall isn't quite going to find anyone. He's going to try and get that one on the go again, but not quite going to be able to find his target. So, oh, nice little boost comes on here, but it's not going to be enough, as that's another couple of kills coming through for CEX, and now they can push on towards this B site. They need to try and find something, but Jacob is on the scene, but he's not going to find any birthday kills for himself as he does end up going down. Robin now looking for shots with the scout, does manage to tag him, I believe. Got one onto Charlie there. In fact, no, he didn't even tag him in the end. I don't know if he's really going to be able to achieve anything with this scout. He's got a good angle from it, but he's not going to be able to find it in the end. That's going to be another kill and another round for CEX.
Yeah, and once again, this back and forth now, it's just happening. It's blow for blow between these two teams. We expected it to be a close matchup, and it's already proven to be that. And the thing about this is the fact everyone's getting reset time and time. So you set yourself up to what should be a free round so you can link it together. And then you lose out on that free round. You reset your economy. You give your enemies the economy to play with the weapons. You lose into that. And it's just this weird sort of shake-up that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. And these are the kind of the games that I really like to watch, where it's just trading rounds back and forth, because it feels like when both teams are scrambling for that force buy each and every round, it makes it so much closer. It makes every single round feel like it really could go either way. You get less of these rounds where it's just a team full ecoing. I know I'm saying this while this is actually happening in front of our eyes, but generally speaking, we'll see a lot of very, very close rounds. But you're going to see Dudley with a Desert Eagle. Can't quite find that first shot. That would have been a great way to start this one off, but I think they know fully where he is right now and should be punished for this if he goes for the peak again. He's going to back away down to 8 HP though. Is Robin going to be there with him? P250 to work with. But the terrorists, they're not bothered about Connector right now. They're just going to push straight on towards this A site. Jacob is on the site. He's going to be able to survive for now and just gets shot straight on back across, but can't quite find his targets. 4 men remaining for the working men right now as Charlie finds another one for himself. This is going to be the bomb going down in the end as we see CeX pushing up towards stairs, trying to get back onto this site right now. Robin is going to be with him, using that P250, but can't quite find any heads with his bullets right there. And that's going to be another one coming out for Spandex, who's actually got 2 now this round. And Robin, in fact, that's Charlie getting 2 in a single spray right there. And another round for CEX, so they're going to be able to work with that one. It wasn't eco coming out from the working men though, so they're going to be pretty okay for cash on this one. They're going to be able to get some rifles for themselves.
Yeah, obviously the money finally getting to a little bit more of a stable situation. Dudley actually opted to go for the glass cannon up here. The rest of his teammates on the rifles. One man, CeX though, he's the boy with the kit. Does actually have armor to play with and a UMP in hand. Interestingly enough, everyone is going to have AKs apart from Spandex, so that bullet to the head will take you down either way. But jumping into this round, it's going to be a little bit slower. CEX playing that default as they sit 3 players towards Park. One man just sitting underground with a bomb, and then Resu holding out towards Monster. They're just playing for the aggression of the working men. Want to see if they are going to get a little bit aggro and try and push their way out to get that opening pick to make the round so much easier for them. CeX not going to be making the same mistakes though.
No, absolutely not. So far, the working men playing this one super safe, not pushing onto the terrorists right now, just allowing them to play from this defensive side. It looks like Long is going to be the push for now. But Dudley, well aware of the situation, has his AWP in hand. It's going to be Medic that finds the first one though as they start to push, and he misses the first shot. Absolutely crucial. And now Dudley has got a whole lot of work cut out for himself as the smokes are going to come on through, but he pushes aggressively through them. Misses another shot though, and that is just as bad as it gets really for him because he's lost his AWP, he's lost his life. In fact, it's Jacob now pushing with the M4, but he's not going to be able to find anyone. And now the 2 remaining CTs in a 2 versus 5. That's going to be Medic finding himself yet another kill. Hat-trick for him. That's 1 coming out for food stamps. But again, not enough. And that is going to be a nice win for CEX. And after an eco into a rifle buy, it's just a painful, painful round for working men.
Yeah, it's an absolutely horrendous situation to be in. And once again, they're back into that sort of black hole of the economy. They have nothing to work with. They're stuck with the pistols. They haven't really been going for anything too spicy as well. It's been quite standard. No sort of overly juicy plays where they've tried to spice it up enough that CEX will be caught off guard. This time around, actually going for that early toilet control. This could be a bit of a difference maker here if they're not used to these angles being covered like this. They have the crossfire set up so if someone goes in, they can sort of bait them into the web and then take them down.
Well, Charlie with the AWP looks away just as someone's about to peek as well. It's a little bit unfortunate for him. A little bit of a fight going on down mid. As we're going to see Robin trying to peek this one out, but the AK will obviously win out that fight if he can find his shots. The Deagle going to be in hand as well as he decides to just back away in the end and head on upstairs. And over towards toilets. I mean, just general spread out play coming out here. Is Medic going to be the point man here, pushing on forwards towards these toilets. And they're looking to try and finally make something happen, and immediately just takes the head off of Dudley. It's going to be Robin taken out as well, down towards Connector. And now 3 CTs remaining once more as Jacob comes up from behind but just gets wiped out immediately. CeX nowhere to be seen. It's just going to be Food Stamps on the site alone here. I'm not 100% sure which player Food Stamps actually is. Is it Fry? Okay. Yeah. But isn't going to be able to find his shots anyway. That is going to be yet another round for CeX, so they're really starting to build some momentum now. And take a look at that cash as well. Nobody died in that round, so no one has to rebuy. Just going to be able to top up armor, top up those grenades, and head into this 8th round pretty confidently. But the buy has come out once more for the working men. We see Dudley with an AWP, Robin with a glass cannon AWP.
Good damn.
It's certainly a strong buy coming out from the working men if they can utilize these AWPs correctly.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, where they're going to be the most beneficial towards that long area of the map and that mid area by Fountain, aren't going to come into effect right now. It is once again going to be a B attack. The smokes go in with the backup of the flashes as well, but it seems like it actually has been a bit of an elaborate ruse. They begin to plant the seed of doubt and then reposition. Luckily, Dudley finally finds a target. Resu, as he tried to sneak his way up, playing that late lurk, has been put down into an early grave, punished of course. And this is good. Map control being seized by the working men as they push out into these angles that are still effectively covered. So they've been able to zone out the side of CeX quite nicely.
They certainly have. Medic going to be the point man here, pushing down through connector. There's nobody going to actually meet him just yet. But we do have Fry just waiting in the wings. Just going to be waiting for them to push on through connector out that door, but I don't know if they're going to go this way, whether they're going to decide to head up towards A. Looks like they are going to decide on the B site in the end. Jacob is going to spot them immediately though, and it's going to be Fry on the scene. Can't quite connect the shots though, and will go down to the God Heavy. CeX here on the site, just waiting for them to push with this M4 in hand. Should be able to do some serious work if he can find his shots, but it's going to be Jacob here actually making things happen for his team with that silenced M4. And now it's just going to be Glory Kid, the last one remaining, Spandex. But can't quite find his shots, and the working men finally put a stop to the momentum that CeX had managed to build up for themselves. But as you can see clearly on your screens, it's not really going to put much of a dent into the economy for CeX. They could afford a rebuy in the next one even if they lose again, so they're really feeling pretty comfortable. And taking a look at the scoreboard, CeX, there's not really one player that's just running away with the game for them either. They're kind of generally all pulling their weight.
Yeah, everyone's actually had quite a critical role, even Resu right now. As much as it doesn't show the impact on the scoreboard, he's been playing that lurk role and actually buying them a lot more time in diversions, which is quite a critical thing. Anyway, the catalyst will kick off. That push towards the B-bomb site. Cinder's going to land the headshot over towards Fry. Tries to follow it up with a second and pops there to Jacob as well. He's on an absolute warpath right now, but they haven't realised. CeX blends into the angle, eventually gets spotted out. Cinder, hat-trick already claims. He's hungry for more though, but Charlie, AWP in hand, lands the tag on towards Dudley. Hasn't eventually killed him though. Somehow Dudley doesn't even trade that out. Does get put down. There's Cinder to go on for the quad kill, the headshot coming out. And I said he's one of those players that you want in those scenarios. He really can go unreally huge at times, and it's happened again.
Yeah, and that's a painful round to lose as well. Just as they managed to halt the momentum of CeX, they end up losing that round, and that's just going to reset their economy as well. They lose that loss bonus that they were starting to build up for themselves, and now the scoreline is 3-6. It's not all lost just yet for the working men, but the next couple of rounds are definitely going to be tricky ones for them, as Robin just waiting around the corner. He's got a Zeus in hand. As Rezu going to be pushing up, decides to swap to the pistol in the end. Is going to look for the Zeus in the end, jumps through the smoke, and it doesn't manage to get it. It was Robin that found the kill in the end.
Very close there to actually landing that taser. So unfortunate for him. It would have been a good way to actually recover a weapon into that round and try and scuttle out of there. Didn't go really how he wanted it to. Now, into round 11, those buys coming in. It's actually not that fantastic over on the side of the working men. They've skimped on nades quite heavily. They've got 3 smokes to play with and only 2 HEs there. So a couple of flashbangs. They can go for the retakes if it even gets to that scenario. Dudley, luckily this time as well, has the AWP with armor.
Yeah, he certainly does. And that is going to be a crucial part here as well. We did see, I think it was Dudley that had armor last time. Oh, God, heavy pushing here. CeX is going to be able to find that first kill, though. So that's fantastic news for the working men, but as I'm about to start praising them, Charlie takes the head off Robin. And the entire tunnel is just filled with smoke as CeX just decides to back away from this one in the end. But we can see that Charlie's still spamming through that smoke as they look for a different route to start to push towards. And it looks like the B site is going to be the call once more. Rezu looking for the shot. Jacob isn't going to be able to find his target, but that is going to be Jacob. Very happy spotting out that information. Did have a P90 in hand, so he was never going to be able to win that fight at long range. But he knows that B is the site that they're going to be pushing, or at least he knows there's a player around here. He's going to be waiting in the wings with that P90. If he can get a good spray, he should be okay, but there's a lot of armor here on the side of CEX, so the SMG not going to be too effective as they're going to push on through. It doesn't find any shots, though. It's going to be Medic chiming in with one for himself. There's 2 CTs remaining. They've got a long way to run. TSAC going to be coming from T-spawn, and Dudley pushing in from here with the AWP. Can't quite find the shot onto Charlie, but he has told them exactly where he is. He gets the second one, though, as his teammate is taken down, and now Dudley in a 1 versus 2. He's got the AWP in hand, though, so can he find it? No, he can't, is the answer. Gets taken down as another kill goes the way of Spandex, who honestly has been stepping up this game, and you can see it in the scoreboard. Him and Godovi on 13 and 12 kills. They are absolutely tearing this map apart.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and this is what I was saying. Spandex is one of those players that needed to be there. It's really working together, and you can see that dynamic actually starting to come to fruition quite nicely. Cinder as well, one of the key men for that side of CEX. Time and time again, so consistent, actually landing some fantastic shots, really been able to fake the fight to the enemy. He's been doing that absolutely gloriously so far. Dudley, seeming like he will be overwhelmed right now towards toilets. Has the backup of Robin with a deagle in hand, but their arsenal is fairly weak and lacking compared to the side of CEX.
Certainly is, and the round count isn't doing so hot either, but Dudley going to be tagged down pretty low here, as it looks like CEX just want to muscle their way onto this A site. They're not messing about going with rotations and things, they're just pushing on through. And I'm not sure there's a whole lot they're going to be able to do about it, but as I say that, Jacob finds one for himself. Can't quite get a second one, though, as Medic makes his way onto the site again. Medic keeps on finding these entry frags for his team. He's been really on point with that AK so far this game, and now just 3 CTs remaining. Hanging around, really favouring the A site here. They know that that's where the Ts at least were pushing, but it's whether or not they're going to be able to find anything here. Rezu in a really nice little lurk roll here. He's just waiting for someone to push on through TSAC. I don't think he's... Oh, he's spotted him now for sure. He's going to be able to back away with that knowledge. But they're starting to push up long. Medic going to be on the front line, and it's going to be Dudley finding one with his P250. Gets a second one as well for himself. And that is going to even up the scoreboard just a little bit here. Andrew with that AK-47 going to be pushing on towards this A site. He needs to find the shots, has to get it, and he will be able to do so as we see Cinder starting to plant that bomb. It's going to be 2 versus 2. TSAC, the last man, does find one for himself. He's got that CZ, but he can't find their headshots. And in the end, it's going to be CEX running away with the game so far. 9 rounds on the board as we head into the 13th. Working men, they've got to make something happen. They've got a bit of money to work with. They're going to pull some rifles out. But honestly, if they can't get these next few rounds on the board, it's looking dicey for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's crazy as well that it actually went that close when it was in a situation that easily was CEX round. Working men didn't have much of a stake into it, but they made it go nearly all the way down to the wire. Charlie back with the AWP in his hands, but he's not going to be the one to pull the trigger first. Dudley, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, finds that frag over on towards Cinder and makes their lives so much easier on that CT side. Now CEX really need to step it up and find these entries together. Mostly grouped outside that B bomb site. One player going to go in as the lurk once again. That is going to be Resu. Opens up the door. That would have been heard if they were close enough. Might have realised that audio cue was there that could give him a little bit of an inkling about where the late round push is going to go. And that is fantastic. Yeah, Charlie getting spammed down to 1 HP through the smoke. Still a minute left on the clock. And a lot of utility for the side of the working men. They have to start to do something soon. Medic will take the initiative. Goes on his lonesome, the little Lone Ranger scout mission. But the flashbang goes in, terrifies him, zones him up for a few more seconds, and buys them a lot more time.
Yeah, Fry's going to be waiting here as well, just asking Medic to push on, daring him to go forwards with this one. is going to push eventually, and Food Stamps immediately spots them out. The molly is going to come in though, so he actually has to make something happen right now. Jumps up and will get taken down immediately by Spandex. So 4 versus 4, but they're going to be answered by the CTs here as the last 3 push on towards this B site now. Charlie with that AWP just on 1 HP to push on into this site with. It's not going to be in a great spot, but Rezu is going to be pushing from a different angle as Charlie trying to find these shots, throws out that flashbang, will be able to deny any vision, but Robin takes down his only teammate remaining, and that is going to be Robin finishing off the round as well with 2 kills for himself. Picks up an AWP, as does Dudley, and that is finally another round on the board for the working men, and a round that they desperately needed, in all honesty. You can see, obviously, there's so much money still to work with here for CEX. They're absolutely fine in this situation, but if the working men can get these next couple of rounds on the board, then they're still in with a good shot at taking this map.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not over anywhere near just yet. Only on round 14. There's still potential that they could come back and actually get themselves into a 6-9 scoreline if they carry on the way they're doing as well. Nice one from Dudley there to actually go for that pick. I believe he's been able to land it quite a few times in a row now. That's given that early game advantage, and they can deal their way through to shut it down. They just have to try and get a level of consistency behind those plays that actually are winning them rounds. Silence was across the battlefield just now though. Minute 18 left on the clock as they're still just opting what they want to go for here. Just deciding if they do want to charge their way into that B bomb site, or if they're just going to edge their way around for the meantime and work it out in a little bit. Seeming like they want to try and find the opener. They'll land that tag over towards Fry, but knocks him down just to 15 HP. Another smoke comes in. This is great to force him waste of utilities. There's still a minute still left on the clock, but it's going to be a struggle if they want to try and get that opening frag now. They have given the game away.
Certainly have. It's going to be Fry. Was tagged down to just 15 HP though, so Cinder looking to try and finish him off with that AK if he can. Oh, really nice headshot comes out, but Dudley immediately answers as Charlie now going to be on this front line, and they're still just trying to muscle their way onto this B site. There's not really much of a rotation going to be coming out from them as Fry just waiting for them to push with the CZ. Is going to be able to at the very least tag a couple of them out as Dudley just waiting for them to fully commit to this site before he peeks out with that AWP, and now needs to find another member to take out right now as we're going to see Fry pushing on. Robin looking to try and finish off these low HP targets. Going to be Fry finding one yet again as the pop flash comes out. Charlie is going to be taken down by Robin. Dudley on the scene. Doesn't quite land his AWP shot though. And that is going to be Spandex taking 2. He's looking to make the clutch happen, but looks like decides to back away in the end. He's going to come straight on back through, but Robin's waiting for him. Spandex gets the triple kill, gets the 1 versus 3, and CEX push forwards onto 10 rounds in the bag. Match, or half point, last round of the half at least. And the working men with barely any money to work with at all.
I think they should put some more work in,
yeah,
because then they'll actually have some money in their bank.
They might be working men right now, but it looks like they're on minimum wage because
there you go, that was better.
Just not a good financial situation.
That was a good development. Much like what working men do when they develop business. And Cinder's got some business, but it's business in killing because he is a hired gunman. He found that frag. Charlie is actually going to be the one to take it though. He shuts down Robin. This is looking good so far. One of those weapons on that side already dispatched. There's the other one. Charlie in for a penny, in for a pound as he finds that follow-up frag over towards Dudley. The pistols, the only things that are left standing on the side of the working men. But they're only really going to be beneficial from those close angles. And they're miles away. CEX just grouping up, wanting to go for that late round B play. They're going to go for a sniff first, see if they can try and see if anything's afoot. Ressi will be the one scouting it out whilst his teammates come in to back him up.
Well, we'll see if anything is afoot or whether it's all arms here for the working men. As we're going to see, it's Fry on the scene here to try and get an early kill in this one, but he's going to be taken out by Spandex almost immediately. And now CeX, the last CT remaining, just gets wiped out immediately by Cinder. And a convincing first half is going to come out here from CEX. And honestly, I was on the same kind of mindset as you, that the working men maybe were a favourite coming into this matchup. But CEX honestly taking away this first half completely and utterly. And now the working men, they've got a mountain to climb if they want to come back into this game.
Oh yeah, 4 rounds on that CT half really isn't fantastic at all. That CT half is where they should kind of be excelling, down to the fact you've got so many individually talented players that really just need to land their shots to have that dynamic to work quite well. But it didn't really work out. They took a lot of risks with their investments that came back to bite them. We saw that in terms of the AWP buys that were glass cannon, constantly going for those glass cannon plays. You needed to try and get enough frags to justify it, but it just didn't even happen. There was a few rounds where we actually saw a glass cannon AWP come into effect and be shut down just a few milliseconds into the round. So you've given them a free AWP. You've gone with that no armor setup, gone for the overly aggressive play. You haven't helped your team out. You've just put them in a detriment from the get-go. So unfortunate, and they don't have a lot of breathing room. They're running out of air at this point. They have to come in now and pick up this pistol round to be in with a chance.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And let's take a look in the eyes of the working men for this pistol round. As actually Jacob going to be pushing away from the rest of his team. It's going to be CeX leading the charge here as they all push through connector. Charlie going to be waiting for them to push, and it looks like they scouted out this connector players. Just look at them get completely wiped out, and it's even going to be the last man in, Jacob, taken on out by Spandex in the end there. And I mean, what a way to win a pistol round right there. CeX just completely annihilate the working men, and that is honestly very, very bad news.
That was just really nice crossfire as well. Literally, as soon as they walk in, dispatching everyone that's in front of them in their crosshairs. Great stuff from CeX there. I mean, if they can keep this up now and shut themselves down, they should have another 2 rounds essentially for free at this point with the advanced weaponry they have. If they can beat them on this one, they're going to be forced into the eco again. They've gone for a bit of a force, as they have got these Tech 9s and Deagles, but they're going one by one and they're getting picked off. Charlie will kick things into action. Medic will get the follow-up frag with that UMP, and not only has he got a frag there, he's also giving himself a little bit more money if they even need it at this point, because it seems like the game should be shut down fairly quickly. Jacob towards short isn't going to be alive for much longer, as Cinder just sprays him up and down with a P9. E-Medic finds another frag for himself, and it's all left on Fry. Does luckily recover that UMP. He's got armor to play with, and a fair bit of time as well, with the bomb miles out of position. We'll have to go the loop-de-loop all the way back round towards spawn. Can grab it. It's not in CT side control, but it's still going to be so very hard. Would have to get the ace to pick up this round.
Yeah, he really would, and we're going to see he's going to be able to grab this bomb for himself, but I think Cinder might have heard him pick that up, to be honest. He's going to be waiting down here with a P90 and comfortably takes the kill. He's going to pick up the UMP in the end and decides he wants his P90 back in the end. Picks that one back up for himself. And now that's the 13th round on the count for CeX. And we'll see whether they're going to be able to turn this into more, as it's going to be yet another full eco coming out for the working men. Just a couple of P250s to work with, but honestly, I'm not sure that's going to be enough to take on CeX right now, who have got a pretty enticing buy to work with. And actually a couple of kills already traded as Rezu pushing forward with an MP7, but it's going to be Robin and Jacob, the last 2 remaining. Robin down towards mid, Jacob the other side of connector right now as he pushes up to try and get onto Medic. Just gets wiped off the face of the earth though. And now the last man remaining for the working men. I don't think there's going to be much he can do here as Medic finds him with a P90. No armor to block those SMG bullets, and yet another easy round comes through for CeX.
And this is really insane as well. This is nowhere near what I expected. CeX just tearing through everything that the working men can bring to the table. Glorious, glorious stuff there. Only a few rounds left on the board at this point. Round 19 into the game with a 14-4 scoreline. An aggressive play from CeX, interestingly enough, as well. Even though they're winning quite predominantly, they are still trying to take risks. They want to take that initiative early into the round. It will be shut down, traded out, and this actually favours the T's at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that completely. CeX, though, is going to disprove us as he gets taken on down. Jacob now pushing up through connector. There's a smoke in the way, but he knows that there's a player nearby. But Spandex is going to be able to walk away with his life, even if it is only 19 points of it. And now Jacob pushing up very aggressively here. He's got support, though, of Robin and Fry as they push towards this A side. They have to win this round if they want to stay in the game. This is the last time that they're going to be able to buy if they don't win this round. But Charlie immediately taking the head off one of them, but he's immediately answered again. And now they push on through, as it's just going to be Cinder and Medic to try and save the day for the CTs right now. But it's only Cinder remaining as the warband comes through onto Medic. And now it looks like working men should be able to get themselves around on the board here.
Cinder, though, on the site right now, trying to sniff out where they'll be. Only has a Molotov and a kit. Potential for him to try and achieve this if they peek overly aggressively. Jacob will be the first man to fall. Taps the bomb, and the peek actually comes out for some reason from Fry. Didn't have to commit to the full peek, but he did so. And he's been bested. 4 HP left on Cinder. The defuse is going to come in, upgrades to an AWP as well, and that's absolutely ridiculous.
And that is potentially the end of the game, in all honesty. The force spy is going to be available. They can get some AKs, they can get some armor, but absolutely no grenades to work with. I say no. Obviously, there's 6 there. Robin, not very happy on that one. But yeah, the working men not in a great spot here. CeX already tagged incredibly low on this one. But there's a nice kill for Charlie. And that kill from Charlie really telling us the storyline of this entire match so far. There's everyone dropping like flies. I'm not managing to catch a single killer this round, but it doesn't seem to matter in the eyes of CeX because there's only 2 of them remaining. One of them on A site here. Medic going to be looking for the kill onto CeX. Just tag him out, even though he was on 16, only hits him for 10. CeX still just grasping onto his life right now. And now the 2 remaining CTs. Oh, nice turnaround actually from Medic. Just managed to get the kill onto CeX, and it's only going to be Dudley remaining. He's got to somehow win this round all by himself. Up against the 2 CTs. He's on his way to the bomb. He knows where it is, but so do his opponents. As they're just going to be hanging around this A site now. Still 35 seconds to work with, though.
Dudley just biding his time. Has the bomb. 25 seconds on the clock. Will slowly tiptoe his way up into that site. We'll have to dispatch 2 more members of the side. It's going to have to be a hat-trick, if anything at all, at this point. Will not check his side. The peek comes out. Luckily, he realises his mistake. Will attempt to readjust. Spandex just waiting. The frags start to come out, but it will go to Spandex. Shuts him down. That's a 16-4 scoreline. A measly 20 rounds it took to shut down our second